Bien, soy Irene,
Chapter
estamos jugando a
4.
Agatha
7 little
Christie y no
sailor
quedó
boys
ninguno.
chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6.
Rogers is a first-class butler. I'll say that for him.
Capítulo
Wife was a pretty good cook, too.
16, tal
Too
vez.
bad we only got one meal out of her.
Ladies and
Lo que vamos
gentlemen,
haciendo aparte.
back to the business at hand. I'm going to ask Mr. Narracott to continue his investigation.
But he's the last one who saw the General alive.
The last one who is willing to admit to it. Mr. Narracott?
Y vamos a hablar.
Cause of death, Doctor?
The back of his skull was crushed with a blunt instrument.
Could the General's death have been an accident?
O sea, Riley
There were
golpeó.
multiple wounds. Unless he repeatedly slammed the back of his head against a rock, I think we can safely rule out accident and suicide.
Which confirms what we've all come to suspect. The first 2 deaths were undoubtedly murder as well.
I concur.
Time of death?
Only a few minutes before he was found. Not more than 30 at the outside.
Do you have an alibi for that period of time?
Why, the judge and I were playing snooker.
Forgive me, Doctor, but you went up to your room, if you'll recall.
Oh, of course, of course. For a moment or two only.
Thank you for your time, Doctor. Where were you during the half hour in question?
I won't deny that Lombard and I had split up by then. I was just wondering, collecting my thoughts, you might say.
How did you come to find the body?
I'd seen the old gent down on the beach when we searched the island. He seemed pretty confused. I saw the storm coming on, knew it was almost supper time. Thought I'd collect him.
See anyone else on the beach?
No, no one.
Ajá, dice, excepto a ti.
See anything of a murder weapon?
Plenty of solid Devon rocks about. I didn't see any blood, but the rock could have just been tossed in the surf.
One said he'd stay right there, and then there were 7.
Thank you, Miss Claythorne, for again calling our attention to the rhyme. It is significant without a doubt. We have one dead from having choked himself. Another overslept herself. Now a third wishes to remain in Devon, and his
Pero
wish
es que no
is granted
entiendo.
to him
En Devon,
in a
¿qué es
most
eso?
final manner.
That'll do, Mr. Bloor. Where were you during the half hour in question?
Up on Ship Rock, where we spoke.
The entire time?
Yes, until the wind came up. I thought I should get back before the storm.
You could see the beach from where you were?
I spent most of my time on the far side of the summit. But I did move to a position above the beach once or twice. I saw you talking to the General from there.
Yes. He seemed to know he was going to die.
Could that be because you were swinging a rock at his head?
He was quite alive when I left him. Did you see anyone else on the beach?
Yes, I saw Philip. Mr. Lombard and Mr. Bloor walking up the path from the beach. But that was earlier.
¿Quién es feliz?
Anything else you can add, Vera?
No me acuerdo quién es feliz.
No, nothing, I'm afraid.
A pleasure as always, Miss Claythorne. Where were you during the half hour in question?
After Bloor wandered off, I went back to that ruined fishing village. It seemed the most likely place for Owen to be hiding. When the weather closed in, I made a dash back here to the house.
Find any trace of Owen or anyone else on the island apart from us?
No, I wish I had.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Not at the moment.
Good evening, Mr. Lombard.
La señora estaba tejiendo, pero se pasó toda la tarde tejiendo.
Where were you during the half hour in question?
On the front patio, knitting. I'd been there since just after breakfast.
Sí.
You spoke with me there.
We saw her too after we'd searched the house.
Thank you, Mr. Lombard, but I feel bound to add that there were many stretches of time throughout the morning when I was quite alone.
Who else did you see?
Almost everyone at one time or another, I should think. I saw the General walk off along that path towards Ship Rock. A minute or two later, Miss Claythorne headed in the same direction.
He went to the beach. I climbed the rock.
Rogers was also near me for a time, sweeping away some of the debris on the patio from last night's storm.
Very tidy chap, that Rogers.
I don't
Pero
know if
está
it's
Roger.
important, But I heard someone up above me near the telescope. But I don't know who it was.
That is all, Miss Brent.
Vale, ahora subo arriba.
Where were you during the half hour in question?
After the doctor and I finished our game, I had a look around the library. I'm surprised to say I found one of my own books in there. I wonder which of the previous inhabitants of the island it belonged to.
Why not Owen?
My dear Mr. Blore, it was perfectly clear to me some time ago, and after your search you must realize now as well. Mr. Owen is on this island. He, or she, is one of us.
No, no, no.
Young lady, this is no time for refusing to look facts in the face. We are all in grave danger. One of us is Mr. Unknown, and Mr. Unknown has no good planned for us.
I'm a well-known professional man. The mere idea that I could be suspected of murder is preposterous.
A ver si voy a ser
I
yo y
too
no
am
me
a
acuerdo de las
well-known
cosas que
person.
hago.
That, my dear sir,
Cuando me lo
proves
muestra el juego.
less than nothing. Doctors have gone mad before now. Judges have gone mad. So have policemen.
What do you think we should do, Judge?
Be on our guard, especially at night.
I'd suggest prayer.
I'm not adverse to prayer, Miss Brent, but I would supplement it with a locked door.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. I've been asked why I trust you, Mr. Narracott, our odd man out, to lead these informal inquiries
Ah,
of
vale,
ours.
confía en mí.
It is very simple. It is clear to me that Mr. Owen had not planned on you stopping here
Pero
on the
podría pensar que
island
también
with
yo
us.
pudiera ser el asesino.
Unless Blore is Owen.
Stow that talk, Doctor.
An attempt has been made on your life.
So he says.
Right now, there is no one I trust more to get us out of this predicament.
Prettily spoken, Judge. I know you'll pardon me for saying this, but if you are Owen, you might want a bumbling amateur on the case more than a professional like Blore.
I would hope we all answer Mr. Blore's questions with equal candor.
Too right.
I appreciate your candor, Judge.
No sé. Vale, dijeron algo sobre el telescopio, aunque aquí está Roger, ¿no? Sí.
Where were you during the half hour in question?
Mostly in the kitchen, sir, preparing dinner. I also washed dishes, swept the patio, where I saw Miss Brent knitting. Quietly cleaned the game room so as not to disturb the doctor and the judge. Made the beds, and chopped some more firewood.
Good evening, Mr. Rogers.
If I may sum up, we're trapped on this island at least till Monday morning. One of us is most certainly a homicidal maniac. None of us has a clear alibi for the time in which the General met his death. Have I forgotten anything?
Yes, it's storming again.
This might be a good time to explore the house unhindered.
La casa. A ver, de... ¡Oye, señora! Devon. 7 marinitos cortaron leña. Uno se cortó en 2 y quedaron 6. O sea, el siguiente va a morir cortando leña. Y partido por la mitad o como por la cosa. Es lo que entendí. Señora.
Our Lord moves in far more mysterious ways than you can ever hope to uncover.
Perhaps, Miss Brent, but I'm still willing to have a go. Who do you think the killer is?
Very well. I'll humor you. Mr. Blore seems the most likely suspect.
Why?
He's already admitted he's checked up on all of us as part of his supposed job for Mr. Owen. People with secrets, especially those with secrets concerning possible murders, don't make their complicity common knowledge. It would take a man like Mr. Blore to ferret it out.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Forgive me, but I doubt he takes you very seriously. That leaves the judge as the biggest threat. Yes, if I were the killer, I'd go after the judge next.
Good evening to you, Miss Brent.
Yo diría que puede ser que sea esta señora, ¿eh? Os explico por qué. En el capítulo 1 murió Esther, y Esther fue la que primero se quejó con nosotros de los platos. Y esa fue la que murió, que fue la señora esa. En el segundo murió el chico, que se supone que se estaba como medio burlando o algo así, ¿no? Y en el tercero el general. Y el general, su parte de la historia fue que estaba en la roca y nos contó que estaba triste, que sabía que iba a morir. Y en esta señora está aquí, en el principio. De todas formas, esta mujer puede tejer, ¿verdad? Y nosotros tenemos que hacer paracaídas. ¿Era este el paracaídas?
It's Lombard's plan for building a parachute. I'll copy it into my notebook.
A ver. Te digo yo que lo del paracaídas lo veo un poco chungo. Vamos a morir. A ver, paracaídas. Esto lo veo todo, ¿no? Retraso. ¿Dónde está el paracaídas? Caja fuerte. Hay una caja fuerte escondida al lado de la habitación. Vale, sí, tengo. Mansión, isla Owen, ¿dónde está el paracaídas? Clayton, telegrama. Para fabricar el paracaídas de Owen voy a necesitar sábanas de seda, lo tengo. Cosidas. Varios trozos de cuerda, creo que los tengo. Arnés de cuero, lo tengo. Eso yo creo que no. 3 puntales de metal, eso no lo tengo, creo. Y mucha suerte, pues no habla de una zona elevada para lanzarme desde ella. Esto creo que no lo tengo. Ah, lo miro. Pero si me tengo que coser... Ah, 3 puntales de metal. Almohadilla, tiradora. Aquí no hay nada. Una red... Ah, no, espérate, que a lo mejor yo he confundido la red de pesca con lo de... con la cuerda. El arnés sí lo tengo. ¿No tengo la cuerda? Entonces me he confundido, ¿no? Efectivamente. Y el libro este que te pasa aquí.
I've already learned all I can.
Bueno, señora, que me cosa la sábana. ¿Cómo se lo doy?
I can't get them to fit. Perhaps another time. I don't think that's appropriate. I see nothing remarkable.
No se lo puedo dar. Sí.
Would you help me sew these sheets together to make a parachute?
I suppose I could. There's a sewing kit in the servants' quarters. The needles would work, but I don't think the thread would be strong enough.
That is all, Miss Brent.
Se lo da, ¿no?
These will work splendidly.
Ok. Coño, por aquí. Por aquí ya es prueba y no hay nada. Y esto. Tenía que subir arriba por el
I
telescopio,
swear this
creo.
wasn't here before. Must be one of Owen's little games.
I can't see anything of interest.
¿No lo puedo abrir?
It opens. There's something inside.
Una llave. Llave pequeña de escritorio. En el cajón este hay esta. ¡Ay! Otro libro de mierda. No puedo salir. La apicultura de los sotos de Suce.
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
Hostia, otra vez. Bueno, yo lo dejo así. Hace falta humo. Miren, esto es importante. Marcos para los paneles que fueron más manejables. Aunque es cierto que un daño más pequeño no bien. Para controlar a la abeja hace falta humo. Si bien el humo se dirige bien a la abeja, se envuelven tan dóciles que hasta se pueden prescindir de la ropa de protección. Preparar el ahumador. Como combustible tengo que admitir que es la misma hebra de tabaco que uso para rellenar mi pipa de cerezo. Cumple la tarea a la perfección. Y además huele bien. Para dirigir el humo basta un trozo de tubo. Tubo, tabaco y fuego. Voy a mirar. El marco se está colocando en sensor para separar la miel, pana. Voy a probar si se puede mezclar. Aunque mira. En plan, no voy a ir ahora a la colmena, pero voy a ir primero al periódico ese. O sea, al periódico. Al telescopio. Y además que tengo que explorar la casa otra vez. Imagino que nuevas puertas se me habrán abierto, sino que coño hago. Y el telescopio era por alguna de las puertas de acá. Hostia, señor, hola, ¿qué tal?
Dr. Armstrong?
What? What? I must say, I don't think much of this barging in on people when they are...
Ministering to the sick?
I don't find that amusing, sir. Not in the slightest.
Dr. Armstrong, if it will relieve your mind at all, I don't think there's anyone alive on this island who truly believes you are a teetotaler.
Somehow that doesn't relieve my mind one bit.
You protest too much, then eye the drinks tray as if it were manna from heaven. You sneak off to your room to freshen up every chance you get.
All right, Mr. Narracott, you've made your point. What do you want?
Who do you
¿Puedo
think
hablar con
is
la
the
gente que
killer?
está en la habitación?
Miss Brent. Knitting. Always knitting. Like Madame Defarge in A Tale of Two Cities. Madame Defarge knitted the names of those destined for the guillotine. Revenge, sir. It seems an apt analogy. Also, I don't much like Bible thumpers.
Have you any proof?
Proof, sir, is for the police. I have a doctor's instincts. My instinct tells me that anyone that self-righteous and repressed might easily turn to murder. What did she call Mrs. Rogers' death? An act of God. A woman like that could easily cast herself in the role of God's sword.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
No idea, but I assure you I plan to see it as not I.
Better lock your door then, Doctor. I walked right in.
If you'll excuse me, Doctor.
Oye, va. ¿Van a estar todos aquí, por aquí no? ¿En su habitación? No, porque este no está. Ah, porque este regenerado y está muerto, por eso no está. Tiene sentido. ¿En este? No sé qué va a dar la voz, tía. Tengo como... A ver aquí, no.
Another seabird. This one looks like an albatross. Shocking.
Que te ha caminado. Aquí no hay nadie tampoco. ¿Qué? Ah, mira. Pero no hay nadie.